Good call. Good call. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you never know. You're welcome.
All right. Some simple questions, very simple questions. The goal is that they just lead to deeper conversation.
Yep.
So we're going to start out really easy. And I'm going to ask you, oh, dude, I'm so excited, man. I don't think I know these things about you. This is why I'm most excited. Okay. Walter,
Yep.
why do you get out of bed in the morning? What makes you jump out of bed?
Uh, what makes me jump out of bed is going to the gym and creating content. Somewhere around something about being better every day gets me super excited. Taking ground gets me excited. Yeah, I think about what post can I make today. One of the nice things about every morning is it's a new day of posts. I get a new chance to go and create some content out there that I previously didn't get to. And then I get to go work on a piece of my body somewhere that I didn't get progress on, last week. Like every week is progress. So hitting the gym feels like progress to me. Uh, I get excited about some projects. Every week it's a different project. So if I were to say ultimately, it is the ultimate taking over of the universal consciousness. So helping the whole kind of planet just come together with an idea, a singular goal. I'd love to see our species be interplanetary. Like I'd love to be able to go to the moon physically one day and build out there. So a lot of what I do, that's my long term, but I don't get to work on that today, right? So everything I do now is about helping people who have money get their situation, their life taken care of so that one day we can work on some really cool shit. But right now, like me and Ron are going through our own personal battles of where we've got so much money in real estate, and if we sell it, we pay taxes. So we don't want to quite sell it, but we are selling it anyway because we just don't want to manage it anymore. It's too much to manage. He and I are more focused on our spiritual journey, and our egos want to go and do some cool things in this world versus just owning real estate and having free time is fun but unsustainable because the work is just he's frustrated by it and we don't want him to have to deal with that. So in our community, we found the same exact thing is all of us bought a bunch of real estate. We were willing to work hard, but now we got the real estate and the cash flow is kind of there, but it's like a lot of work to manage to keep the cash flow there. If we put it somebody else in charge of it, the cash flow goes lower and then it's like not enough. So we sell some properties, we do some flips, we get active again. And that's just the struggle that a lot of real estate investors go through as well. We started this company saying, let's help others who have nothing. And as we've become people who have something, we're like, let's help people who have the same problems we have. Because those people who have nothing are like a lot of work and they don't pay anything and they don't even appreciate what you're doing. So it's like, I'm shifting my social media to be the free thing that I give the world. I already broke to $250,000. So there's belief out there because that's really all a broke person needs is belief in themselves. They don't need technical skills. It's all they ask for is technical skills that they do nothing. But if you give a person belief in themselves, they become successful, they go and do stuff. So Alchemist Nation was originally built with that intention in mind. I may even eliminate a lot of those beginner courses off the platform and just say, here's that person's social media. Like go watch their free stuff there and just put much higher level courses within Alchemist Nation for higher net worth people who are facing more important things. Problems with like their families and mindset, and it's those things excite me. Long story short, getting this community to be an army of people who have the skills to go out and build and just have better lives is cool to me. That's why we started different businesses like Jen's Pen, which you look at it, it's like, why is he doing a ghostwriting service? Well, it's because we write books around financial intelligence and that builds millionaires. So the premise was if it builds millionaires, we'll do it. And now more and more, I'm just surrounding myself with rich people. I'm like, dude, like rich people have some really shitty problems that I also experience as somebody of wealth. I'm like, man, like these things suck. Like I don't like any of these problems. And so like solving those for myself is more fun for me at the moment, and solving them for other people is more fun. So I just shifting Alchemist Nation more into that direction so we can go and do bigger and better things, but also leaving the rope behind. You know, our broke community members like still need things to do. So they still need to find deals, still need businesses, still need to go and invest. They're still at that point of actively investing in real estate, which gives us passively things to invest in. So like we as like the direction we're going in, it gives us the ability to pay it forward. My just heart is more on people who have high net worth. It's kind of just going back to my roots, man. Like I always served the rich. I always did. And it's just through my content, I ended up serving a lot of people who were broke, but like the rich are the people I bought houses from. You know, little old lady, she's got $300,000 equity in her property, but she, you know, doesn't want to manage it anymore. So we buy the property. And now she has cash, she can go live out the rest of her life. She was house rich, cash poor. So she had a lot of money. She had, you know, 300,000 in equity. She just didn't have the ability to use it. Then we gave, so basically just solving like their net worth rich, but they're cash poor. They don't have income or they don't have the lifestyle that they're looking for. I know a lot of rich guys who are still broke, right? A lot of rich guys who own, you know, $5-10 million worth of real estate, and they're still like, you know, paycheck to paycheck, because yeah, the real estate just takes so much sometimes, so much management. So anyway, that's why I get out of bed in the morning. Just to do something bigger, just to be a little better every day.
To be a little better every day.
Yep.
I love that. You did, you know, I know we didn't go too far to the end because there are things to do today, so you can't focus on the end. Understandable. But to clarify, verify, the ultimate dream outcome, from what I gather, seems to be yes, the mindset and the buying the assets and the building businesses to free people so that they can focus on bigger things. But the goal is to unite everybody under like a common cause, essentially. And then it seems like if you were putting your maybe input and opinion, it would be on like interplanetary travel and these sorts of things.
Hell
So
yeah.
what would be your common cause if you could like call out a common cause that you wish humanity would rally behind?
Yeah, I mean, just honestly, let's improve the planet itself, like improve how much we've got here. So build a city that is in the center of a desert in every major country. Just get rid of the coastline stuff, build our cities in the deserts, and those coastline places are vacations. You can't actually live there anymore. You can only vacation there. This way we eliminate how much development needs to happen where our biodiversity exists. Right, plants and animals do best where deserts are not, where oceans connect to the land, where trees grow very well. So to make our country, first our country, then the world more sustainable is a much cooler cause than anything else. And then to get us off the planet so we can keep spreading. Like I have the most irritated, I get most irritated when somebody says, well, you know, populations are getting out of control. I think that anybody who says that is a fucking idiot. And I think that we should be aiming to have a trillion people in existence. Now, can we do it all on Earth? No, that'd be stupid. We need to spread out. We need to do more. I would also like to see what other iterations of human being looks like. Like what other evolutions are we capable of getting to? What do cyborgs look like? Like how does this manifest where we just live a much better, more intelligent life? And I think that us being bound by limitations of how many people we can fit in a space is fucking stupid, right? Like we could fit the entire planet, all 8 billion people in the city of New York, if New York was structured properly. And we would be perfectly fine. We would all have the money and the resources to do the things we do. The reason we don't is because we were born a certain place and we're like, let's keep expanding sideways instead of going up. But we now have the technology to go up. We have some of the tallest buildings in the world are like thousands of units, can fit thousands of people there. So there's steps. Like before I get to go to other planets, I feel like I still have to fix the housing situation here on this planet, the economic situation here on this planet, which is why automation and AI is just, and robots are so important, because at some point people won't need to work. They'll be able to just actually live life and reproduce, which is really what biology's whole intention is.
That's beautiful. That seems
Cool.
like it'd be like a little bit of an existential crisis for a lot of people, though.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
we're trying to make them rich through buying property and all this stuff and like building for themselves. But if we're automating that already, then almost very shortly, what's the point of that?
Yeah, the goal is to take away the need for money, to take away the purpose for money, because money is just a temporary situation. It was never designed to be permanent. Money is just debt. It's like, hey, you owe me this. So the idea is to get humans away from owing each other and being able to just experience and live great lives. There'll always be the need to owe somebody something, but it doesn't need to be transferred via monetary, physical dollars. It can be fucking likes on Facebook. Hey, I owed you one, so I liked your comment. Like there's other things that we can transfer our desire to connect with another human being. The Meta is totally on it. The metaverse is running, with they just released Threads, which I'm so deep into Threads right now.
Dude, the rate it's growing is just blows my mind. It blows
Yeah.
my fucking mind. ChatGPT blew my mind, but I mean, whatever. I guess this is where we're heading. I love it. People are way more focused on the digital realm.
Well,
So
we're
that's
getting
cool.
into that space. So there is a balance between the physical and the digital, and I think that like Alchemist Nation, like we kind of ride the middle. Like we want to use and leverage technology, but we know we're still stuck here. Like physically, we're still stuck here in these bodies, and we have to treat it right. Like will there one day be a way to transfer yourself into energy and go into the digital space? There's a good chance, very likely. But until that day, we should probably take care of this planet because, as far as we're concerned, it's the only fucking one. We just haven't found one. Like there's possibles, like there's millions of possible options out there, but we just haven't seen one with life that has advanced at the level that we have. And so we have to currently assume that this is the only one out there. There are potentialities of others, but one, can't travel there. And the likelihood that they will never travel to where we are unless space travel gets to some level that we just have not gotten to, which again gets me excited about the idea of pushing us out into space and having reasons to be out in space, because the more we're out there, the faster we're going to improve our space travel abilities and the research that we're doing there. So anyway, it's crazy that that's like my whole intention, where I'd like to do, like where I'd like to be, because right now we've got one major problem that still needs to be fixed. The real estate in this country sucks. It just doesn't work. It's not efficient. It's not effective. And it's killing not just this country, but other countries. It's killing the biodiversity. The way we take ground as the apex predator, we kill literally everything in our way, down to the spider that walks across your kitchen, which these things are how we originally evolved. And so if we're going to survive on other planets, we probably need to be able to take genes from things that can survive on other planets or tough areas, or we may need to use bacteria that doesn't exist yet but could exist soon if we left it alone, then take that to another planet and use it there to terraform a planet. The thing is, this planet is so good at creating shit, that like organic stuff that we could use in other places to make them more hospitable, and we're taking away the ability for it to be diverse, and we really need that diversity like long term. Can I explain this to a person? No. So what I do is step by step, let's go buy some real estate because you want to get rich. Let's start there. Let's diversify your wealth. Let's consolidate into a city that is a fun city, that's more efficient city, that's better quality for living, more entertaining, more enjoyment, more jobs. And we'll just build a city that does that, and then it'll draw people away from the other spots. And you can't push people away, you have to draw them in.
Mm-hmm. And I hear what you're saying with the money thing. I get it, like focusing on the money, because I think it also, for me personally, I don't know what you feel about this, but I feel like at the end of the day, it's just energy. It's just learning how to manage energy. Like the reason I'm not, historically maybe was leaking money, you know what I'm saying, was because also in the same way, just energetically, how I'm allocating like my focus, my attention was the same amount of leakiness, right? Same lack of focus. So how is my money going to focus when I'm not focused in other areas? And I think that spills over. If we can learn that through money, those skills, then yeah, when money is no longer a thing and it's literally just our creative energy, and that's what we're sitting here doing, we'll be way more equipped to like understand how to like utilize it better and how to invest it better.
100%. Money is just a transfer of energy. This is a transfer of, like I said, debt. I owe you one. But what is owing? It is just a sense, a belief. It is an idea. So money is just, I feel like I owe you, right? If you think about owing a person, is just a feeling of debt. I owe them because of what, right? Like, well, they raised me, I owe them. Yeah, I owe my mom. I gotta show up. So that's just it's a feeling that gets transferred into money. Money is just a way to say, yeah, I owed this person a few things, and now in society it's so disconnected. People have a very disconnected belief system around money, but it is, you can see the way they spend it. You can see the way they're emotional, they go shopping, right? They're emotional, they spend, they hold, they tighten up. Like, oh, I'm afraid to lose, so they tighten up their money too. It's like, wow, you're going through an emotional experience, and I can see it in your spending habits.
Mhm. Mhm.
100%. Like when somebody
Way
makes a
back.
big group of money, I know something bad is going to happen in their family soon that they're going to have to go take care of. Things are already happening. They just wouldn't have noticed it otherwise. But with a large chunk of money sitting in the bank, suddenly you start noticing things happening in your family, and you become more connected. And it's a weird thing that having an excess of money allows. Having a lack of money, you don't have time for your family because you've got to focus on the most important thing in front of you right now.
Right.
Not worried about other people's concerns. You're like, shit, I gotta solve my own.
Right. Yeah, that is an interesting thing because I watched, this little side. I watched one of your reels the other day, and it was talking about the problems that you were facing, like the internal things, like the more deeper emotional issues that you're starting to address now that, that's where you can focus on. And I realized like that's where I've lived for a long time. It's like, okay, so I understand now why I can emotionally, I guess, resonate with these people at this level, but like now I'm almost doing the opposite where I have to like kind of not stop empathizing, but like care to focus that energy a little bit more inside. You know what I'm saying? Like I was focusing it outside for so long. Great, I have the understanding now, but I got to go make money.
Yep.
Interesting. Okay. Um, if we were to meet 5 years from now, what would have happened for you to feel proud and fulfilled with your professional journey?
The good chance 5 years from now, I'll manage between $1 to $5 billion worth of real estate, and Alchemist Nation will be in over 1,000 major cities with over 100 attendees in each one. So we'll call it 100,000 people who are actively leveraging the resources and information and connections within Alchemist Nation. That $5 billion worth of real estate is pivoting us, allowing us the ability to leverage through either sale or through loans to get into the development of the city. Because the initial leg of it is about a $5 billion project. So all of those relationships, all of that already pre-existing asset base gives us the leverage to go into the next business.
Awesome. Okay. So 5 years from now is when you're going to be more or less starting that journey of like beginning to actually put some energy into the city.
Yep. 5 years of city building, 5, 10 years of city building. Who knows? That may be how I die on this planet. Just constantly expanding the desert in West Texas. It's possible.
So West Texas is a place you've identified as where you'd like to.
I love America. Yeah. So if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it in this country, assuming country stays the way it is. But
Yeah.
yeah,
No, you mentioned that, but I mean even within this country. So Texas is the desert space you're looking for.
makes the most sense. Yeah.
Cool. 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 What's I know you've identified a couple things, but what's the biggest thing currently standing in the way of these biggest dreams and ambitions you have?
Uh, Same thing. Everybody who wants more is, it's just emotionally accepting the responsibility, or emotionally accepting that this is what's happening, um, making the right commitments, highest leverage, opening my heart to the right relationships, just feeling like, yes, I will be the responsible person when I connect with those people, because I know the people right now to make the connections with. It's just deciding on being the person to go and do that. So it's cutting off old attachments, old relationships, and taking on the new ones that have the ability to take us to the next level.
Is
It's
there a
it's
specific
primarily a hiring thing right now.
it's a high thing right now? Makes sense.
Hiring salespeople.
I gotta put headphones in.
Yep, all good.
I don't get to be alone with family. Who you're looking to hire? What are those relationships you're cutting off and the ones that you're adding in? If you don't mind me asking.
Yep. Salespeople. So right now, the relationship I have brought in was Brian Schilling, who's managing the sales team. Steven Beaver, just pouring into those guys, like pour into those guys because they're running that sales side. Hiring a person to manage the marketing team. So that person will manage all of our marketing and our messaging and community kind of development. So like those are the key areas that I've identified as hire those people, and then operations, hire the person for operations, but not until sales and marketing have like cranked off and like they're doing their thing.
Gotcha. Cool. Can you describe the person's life who is most profoundly changed by what you're doing?
Yeah. So what we change in a person is their time they can spend with their family. A lot, even though they're rich or they're wealthy, like people think that a rich person has all the time in the world, which they don't. If their business still needs them, so there's a couple of components. One is automating your business so that it doesn't need you anymore, which is a leadership, hiring, management kind of side of things. The other one is removing the assets that are heavily managed. So a person who has a high level of net worth usually owns a ton of real estate or a business or many businesses. They have access to these high management challenges. So the goal is to move them away from those because they take away life after a certain point. Like a person who is obsessed, and Steven Beaver is a perfect example of somebody who was obsessed with his business, didn't get spending time with his kids, missed all these opportunities. So what they get at the end of it is just the ability to actually live a meaningful life, not just have a great business, not just have great investments, which are meaningful. I want to be very clear, like a business and investments can be very meaningful and very fulfilling. But as a person gets closer to the end of their life, they start feeling like I might have missed out on some vacations. I might have missed out on time with the family, or even time with very interesting people. For me, I don't know if I necessarily want to spend more time with my family, but I do like spending more time with very interesting people who've accomplished really cool things and being involved with projects that they want to be involved with. For instance, building the city is exciting to me, but before I can get there, building this community is exciting to me. And before I could get there, I had to go and build this portfolio. And now this portfolio kills me. I just don't even want it anymore. I want to put that into passive investments and just run with building this community while it's exciting me. And then I'll sell the community, or I'll hire somebody so it becomes passive and shift that into the next level. So basically it's getting their time back to do the next thing. These are not people who are going to never do anything, right? They're not people who like got rich so they can sit and do nothing. Like these are people who got rich so that they could do something else. Want to do something bigger. Every person that I have ever met who has a lot of money is like, okay, what's my next thing that I'm going to do? That probably makes money too.
Interesting. So would that mean that I can assume that the people that I talk to that say that they run a very successful business, but they have no desire to grow, are maybe not as successful as they think they are? Because if they're truly successful, they're growth focused, right? What makes
So
a person stop being growth focused?
so if they are comfortable with where they're at, they have either automated their business or they don't know how to automate their business and they've resigned themselves to a state of I'm stuck here doing this. This is as big as I can get. This is the maximum amount of stress I'm willing to take into my life is this size of business, and I'll put up with this. So they're either not automated or they are automated and they don't want to grow anymore, because if they grow more, now they got to go build more systems.
Makes
But
sense.
most people don't automate. Most people, I'm sure that you're talking to, most high net worth individuals I know are still in their business on some level. High net worth does not mean out of the business.
Right. For sure. For sure. Yeah, you're right. A lot of the other successful people, they're still heavily focused, automating, but still heavily focused in their business, no doubt.
Yeah.
Not just on it. Okay, so I want to talk about Alchemist Nation, the brand, real quick. How we've talked a little bit about you and your personal desires and a little bit about the brand as well, but how does your personal purpose and dream translate into the brand of Alchemist Nation? And how are you looking for Alchemist Nation to be perceived as a brand?
I like that. So our mission is to serve guys who are high net worth, who have crushed it in life, but are looking to get to that next level, who are looking to get the freedom to get away from some of the management of projects and assets and businesses that they've got, and either automate them or sell them entirely and transition them into assets they're more interested in, or passive investments that give them the free time back. A lot of these guys have messed up their bodies in nearly unrepairable ways. They're overweight, or they've messed up their relationships in nearly unrepairable ways, or they've messed up time with their children in nearly unrepairable ways. So now it's giving them the time and the tools, resources, the mental tools to go and make up for their physical body, to make up for their spouse, make up for the time they've lost with their children, which they cannot, and they know they can't, but to give them some semblance of, I guess the word is redemption, right? Some semblance of redemption for the hard work that they put in to deliver all the other things to their family, but that they missed out on these things. And then that fourth one is to give them the opportunity to go and work on something they're passionate about. Like, you've been in business 7, 10, 20 years. You're not passionate about what you're doing anymore. Yeah, so it's time to put that aside and then go do something that you really are passionate about, whether that's charity or the next business, or investing in being a coach. A lot of them want to be coaches. A lot of them become mentors.
Gotcha. So to clarify, verify, as far as so brand perception is we work on high net worth individuals on, I mean, I guess the four main things that everybody's focused on: health, wealth, relationships, and happiness. But the wealth they already have, so it's health and relationships.
We focus on transition of wealth, so succession plans, where you're going from, you own this asset and someday somebody else has to, so it can't be this monster when they receive it. It has to be a simpler thing that just pays a check, right? So let's use an example of somebody I work with who has a couple of restaurants. They own a couple of bars, and they own a bunch of real estate, but they have 2 kids, 2 daughters. Like, what are their daughters going to do when their father passes away? Are they going to go become manager? Like, they're going to somehow figure out all this management skill that they have. And by the way, the daughter, one of them is, she's going to become a social attorney or something. Like, she's got a super great career, and she's helping people, and the other one becomes a nurse, and that's her career. So these 2 daughters now have to live, right? They have, and their father passes on and gives them all these things. What do? They've got now stress in their life, right? They don't know who to collect money from. They don't know where things are going, what bills they owe. Like, they don't know any of this stuff. So a succession plan allows a high net worth person to kill those assets that are complex, or put a manager in place or a trustee in place who's now managing those assets for them. So if something happens, the daughter knows she's getting a check, just a check that comes in, and it goes into the bank account, right, every single month, and she can live off of that. Basically setting up a form of trust fund. There's so many different ways to set up a succession plan so that your kids and your wife are capable of living beyond you. And that's where a lot of Alchemist Nation is going to be focusing a lot of our time, is serving that higher net worth generation and saying, look, like, I understand you can manage it. Can your wife manage it? Does she want to? Can your kids manage it? Do they want to? And if they can't, like, it's time to manage it now while they're alive. While you're still alive, and then spend some time with them so they understand how to manage this thing. But if they want no desire to, then you got to simplify it, and you got to make sure that it's easier for them to transfer over. And then there's the other group who have already accepted that when they die, they're just gonna, their wife's gonna be able to handle it, or the kids are gonna be able to handle it. They just want to grow this thing to the moon. And we've got people in the community who are like, yeah, my kids want real estate, so they're just gonna keep growing. So that group of guys, we're going to continue to grow their portfolios with them, scaling up, scaling out, likely taking the money from this passive group and pouring it into this more active group, so that these guys are getting a check that can pass on to their families, and these guys are growing and expanding their portfolios. Now we generate deals. All of the broker people in our community provide deals, provide properties, opportunities, wholesaling, realtors, like that group. But we focus on surrounding ourselves with business professionals who are really, really good at this wealth management thing: property managers, insurance agents, realtors, commercial realtors, lenders, brokers, attorneys, estate planners, financial advisors, that group of people who have the ability to manage wealth for a wealthy person. CPAs, accountants, bookkeepers, like those people who have the tax plans, tax strategies, that who can do all the work that a normal high net worth person's going through. Funny. It's just funny how this group of people don't understand what they do as a group. They kind of work separately. Like they do this, they do that. And then you ask for a referral. Maybe they know 1, 2 people, but they don't have the group to work together and kind of mastermind, which is why we build our trusted teams. Just build that team 300 across the country where a high net worth person can come in and be like, okay, like here's where I'm at. What do I need to do to transition so my kids can take over? Or just get my time back. Or expand.
I like that. So that seems to be a differentiator between these events and typical RIAs. It seems maybe where the RIAs end up attracting a lot more of a beginner crowd, whereas these are
RIAs are broke
specifically
people.
tailored for people who actually have a bit of a net worth and some income coming in and how to manage that money.
Yeah, it creates more of a mastermind component, right? You got a couple of really wealthy people. They're not going to talk about how do we find deals, right? They're going to be talking about, hey, I've got something I'm willing to sell to you who had like they already have assets and they can transfer their assets between each other. They can borrow and lend with each other. They can simplify each other's problems because they both have big problems, but they can have opposite problems. So they can work together much better. With RIA, you get a bunch of people who are showing up to learn how to wholesale. They're showing up to learn how to do tax lien deeds. They're showing up to learn how to do Airbnb arbitrage. Whereas these guys can do those things, but those are so much work. They're now just looking for who in here wants to do that for us. Right? They're at the point where it's like, I'd rather just have somebody do that for me. So it's a much better quality room. The conversation is just better. It's not so much new or lack of action. Like if somebody doesn't take action, it's because they understand what they're getting into.
Gotcha. Makes sense. Yeah. And we already have regular RIAs that all the beginners can totally go to in most major
The world is not short on people who don't know how to do real estate. Like the world, we don't have a shortage of people who are like, how do I buy houses with no money? Like if I start doing those webinars again, I get filled. It's just like all the people want to come in. How do I buy real estate with no money? Like how do I wholesale real estate? And so we don't do those because they attract a type of person who just is going to take a long time to mature.
A lot of time and energy.
Yeah,
I understand.
Yeah, and there's enough gurus out there teaching wholesaling. There's enough gurus out there teaching how to buy houses with no money down, and it's like, good, excellent. We want to go and build empires. We want to simplify people's lives, move people forward. Yeah, so we teach lending. We teach how to be the bank. There's a lot more. I'd say quality conversations that are happening. Tax advantages, right? Insurance, protection, asset protection, like making sure that you're in the right entities so that your money is not getting taken away by the government, or if something happens and you get sued, they can't come after you and that entity is protected. Like there's so much more fun in the problems of the wealthy that we can solve, that are solvable, that they're not sure how to solve, right? It's when you become wealthy, there's no like textbook of like how to get out of taxes, right? And many of these guys are paying way too much in tax. They don't even know it.
Interesting. Why isn't there a, you would think, I mean, there's plenty of wealthy people. Why isn't there a book on it yet?
There's books, but for whatever, like Tax Souls of the Rich, like I think McElroy put that out. I don't know who put it out. Garrett Sutton put it out. And that's a Rich Dad book, and it's like, what is it called? Loopholes of Real Estate. And it's all tax loopholes and like things to get out, and yet people don't buy that book. It blows my mind. And here's the other thing: a lot of wealthy people got wealthy throughout education, without education. Like they got wealthy just because they were hard workers and they bought a couple houses. They started their business and they hired a couple people. Like they didn't get wealthy because they were watching Tony Robbins. They didn't get wealthy because they were watching Grant Cardone. Like these guys are in their 50s, they're in their 60s. Like they got wealthy just from being hard workers and just taking on a little bit more stress than other people would. And they'll tell you like, no, I didn't read any books. They don't know what Rich Dad Poor Dad is. Like they haven't read any of these books. Like maybe sometimes a few of them have read like Think and Grow Rich. In fact, the majority of them have read Think and Grow Rich. If there was a book they read, that was the one that they've read. And then that's it. Beyond that, like no.
That makes sense. That actually makes perfect sense. Yeah.
They're a tough group of people. Very physically, like this physically sturdy group of people.
But they're soft inside. They're sensitive. They have
Oh
a
yeah.
heart.
Well, and sometimes their bodies are getting soft too. So like that's
They're
one of
true.
the things too. Like, we want to
Let's
get them
harden
back
your
in the gym.
body and soften your heart.
Yeah. 100%.
I love it. Okay, so a couple more questions. I want to run back to success and your vision. We went over that a lot in the beginning, for sure. But I want to, and you have talking about the succession plan for these people. But for you, what does success look like to you? Not just like the metrics and figures, but more esoterically, like less tangibly. What does success look and feel like to you?
I want when I die for the world to show up to the funeral. I want the largest amount of people possible to be like, oh man, like that guy had this positive impact on me. And to me, it may be that we provide housing in a way that has never been done before, provide more housing, better housing, quality housing, whatever. I just want when people go home, they think, wow, this was built because of insert Gualter. Like the way that this is done, the way that this city exists, the way we live today is because he came and said there has to be a better way. And that's to me one of the coolest things that I can do. And people are like, oh, I don't want to die. Like I'm not ready to die because I haven't done that work yet. Could I die? Like I've accomplished more than the average person today. Yes, but I have that work that gets me very excited to be able to create a much more quality level of life for the human species, as we don't have the money to spend on housing the way we used to. Right? As money becomes less of a needed thing, as inflation destroys dollars and currencies, and I think it just we need to have a much more affordable option for housing that is sick, that is like cool, that is like a great way to live. And you look at all the like dystopian movies of society in the future, and people pretty much live in dorm rooms. Like really, if it's a nice society, they're basically in dorm rooms of like really cool buildings, and they have cool outdoor areas, and most of pretty much everything is shareable and usable. It's like Uber on steroids. It's like Airbnb on steroids. Like that's the future that we see. It's just the housing doesn't fit that model right now. The housing's super inefficient. That's why pad split makes a lot of sense. Like they're chopping houses up.
Right. I'm like pad split can be developing its own whole ass properties.
Yeah.
Because you're right. I mean, it's the only thing that we could do differently from the dystopian version of that is literally just put a small amount of intention into like beauty and like quality of life.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we could set up the same efficiency of structure, be just as profitable, but like just by aesthetics and energy, like, yo, these people are going to be all these people that are in poverty mindset. Look at what they're living in now, right? Look at what the dystopian version of what they could be living in. No wonder why they're so oppressed and depressed in this dystopian world. Like if someone woke up in a beautiful space, whether it's a room they have in a little kitchenette or not, like you're going to feel a lot better than when you're living in some projects.
People traditionally have always lived in small dwellings. Always. You look back to all society over time, over history, all have lived in small dwellings. And it's only recently that we said we should really make more space for ourselves and blow things up and pay more for the bigger house. The person with the bigger house is the winner. But society has always done very well with small, unique, specialized small housing. And like we only don't do that when we have other options. So create a really cool space where it's like a more transient person. Like millennials don't want to own real estate. They'd rather be able to maybe live in a place for a couple of months and go somewhere else. Like it just makes more sense. In fact, I know even me, like I love living in Tampa right now, but I'd love to pack this whole setup and be living in Austin for a couple of months. It's a great country. There's a lot of places to see, and just traveling, Airbnb is not affordable enough
Hmm.
to the average person to do that right now. But I believe with adjustments in the structure of how we actually build our houses, like you said, as long as they're aesthetic, like I don't really need that much space. I'm looking around this office. This office that I'm in right now is like more space than I even need in the studio, right? Like it's just this gross amount of real estate.
No, that's valid. And I think we isolate ourselves a little bit more now too. So we're staying inside more, so then we make it bigger so that we feel like we're
Yeah,
in the space. But like back in the day when we're staying in small abodes, we're also like not really in our homes that much. We're like
we're
out
outdoors
with
the whole
each
time.
other in the community. So we're not feeling cramped.
Yeah, and as we're
Makes
getting
sense.
more into virtual reality, like people aren't going to need that much space. You're going to start realizing, like, man, like I can virtually enjoy right here in my house with my running track pad and still get the same amount of activity and just have a blast in your own space. But
Yep.
it
I
sounds
love that.
dystopian. A lot of people aren't going to like that. So
No, no, no. We need that
you can't
anyway
fight the
because
future,
listen,
man. It is what it is.
we're going to be, as we're interplanetary traveling in spaceships for such long periods of time. So we have to become accustomed to
We
that.
have to get used to it. Yep.
Nothing we can do about it. All right. This is great. I have one more question. This is more for me because obviously when I had presented this to you originally, I was just kind of showing you marketing packages I was looking to put together to pitch to people. So I do have a final question in this, so I want to run it with you as well. Although I know you actually said you're looking for a marketing manager anyway, so you would have an answer to this question. But when growth partnering with our team, how do you envision this partnership supporting your purpose and your goals? And what do you expect from us?
Um, yeah, I'm actually not really 100% sure. I didn't look at the paper you had pulled up, so I wasn't sure what you had in plan, like in play. I know for this call, we wanted that website taken care of so that we could get the brand right, get it tight, so a person would come through and just like basically buy. Like that was the premise is they get onto that landing page and they're like, oh my God, like I need to buy this now. Like I can't, where has this sponsorship team been my whole life? So that is the idea, to eliminate having the need for a sales team or giving them a tool that if they were close to selling, it locks them down and uh, basically automating the sales process. Like, can we build a funnel and a workflow automation that automates the selling process? If I just get them there, can I just get them there? And it's so sticky and so attractive and interesting that the person is like reading it and they're just like hooked in, just like, fuck, I need to be a part of this. Then we've accomplished our job.
Gotcha. Cool. That makes sense. So what you're expecting from marketing, whether it's a marketing manager, manager with a team, whatever the hell, it's to automate the sales process to where you wouldn't even need a sales team. You just have people that are letting people know, getting people into the funnel essentially. That's it. And the funnel does their work. Okay. This is
Yeah.
cool. This is cool. Dope. Um, that really is all I have. I'm gonna You said you didn't read the paper, so let me actually go back and look
You
at
send it
what
to me?
this was even supposed to be. No, I don't think I did. I was just showing it to you the other day on the thing. I
I know it was new, so
It
yeah, our
was.
goal, Andrew, is to really just drive traffic to a thing that closes.
Mhm.
And that's it. Drive super intentional traffic. The business real estate professionals drive them to this page and they fill the events. Then the next funnel to be updated or tweaked will be the 52 weeks to wealth. So that when somebody gets to that page, I build millionaires, they're like, yes, like I need to be a part of this community. Sign me up. Like, where do I sign up for my one-on-one call to get my roadmap? Take my money. Like, take my money. I need to be a millionaire, or I need to automate my process.
Gotcha. This is pretty simple, actually. It
It is
feels like a
simple.
lot, but the concept is very, very simple.
Yeah, it's build list, text list, send them to the place where they convert, and then just scale that up. Do I need a virtual team? Do I need AI messaging bots? Like, what does it take to fill 300 events with 100 people each who have purchased a coaching program or not a coaching program, but a roadmap call to get the accountability to go and transition their lives. Like, what does that take? Yeah, put 3,000 people in the summit. Do the same thing with those 3,000 people. Take them through 3 events across the year. Generate income. As a Guerrilla Business School, Master of Influence, Mission to Millions, and the Summit. It's like just run these people through this training and community and see what happens. We'll see what the results are of making a bunch of people happy. We'll see what that leads into and then what they tell me we need to do next. But I assume we're gonna go buy a bunch of real estate together and then we'll go and we'll build a city together. So 5 years we own 5 billion, and then after that we go and we build a massive city in the desert.
So these are going to be all of your high net worth people that you're attracting now. In their automations of their wealth, is part of that include like compiling it all into one REIT that Alchemist Nation goes and purchases this $5 billion worth of property?
Yep.
And then if you're taking the assets of that REIT and transitioning it into building a city, so essentially Alchemist Nation will own the city.
Correct. You got it. It's a pretty straightforward, simple plan, just big, that's all.
No, I got you. It's not that big. It makes sense. It's what we're doing.
It's reasonable. You see it, yeah.
Yeah. Decentralized system of tribes, bro. I met with this dude Tsunami Diamond a few weeks ago.
Yep.
Who I can't even go into. It's gonna take too much to go into everything he's doing. But I want to send you a PDF of essentially what he's doing is, for the last 10 years he's been trying to map out this like a decentralized system of tribes. Essentially, like they've built an ascended. They call themselves Ascended. So they built an Ascended DAO. They're building Ascended spaces. So they want to partner essentially with other groups, other community leaders who are looking to build like whole cities, like these futuristic eco tourist cities, and create a network of them around the planet. So having like one in the desert, having one here, having one there. So it's very interesting. They're just in the process of investment. They're in like round 2 of like collecting like $10 million right now. But it's interesting.
Sounds like they're running based off of a crypto project.
Yeah.
Oh.
For sure. Their assets right now are in the assets they're holding are in like precious metals, mostly. He was saying they're looking to transition to something else. That's the biggest challenge they're facing, is what they're doing with the money they are pulling in at the moment. So that was interesting. But
so they're trading Forex. They're doing precious metals Forex trading. That's my guess, because that's how they're making the money, with the money that they have. Yeah, it's interesting. It sounds a lot like a company we're invested in right now called Axiom, where they do something similar to that.
Interesting. Well, I'm going to do some work with this information and put some stuff together, because this actually, I really like this. This gave my mind clarity on Alchemist Nation. I mean, I guess as it was supposed to do. Real quick, let me share with you, because you said you weren't really looking at what the other day. So that way we both know what this is going to be, right? Because ideally I am going to I want to do this for a lot of people. So the ideal here was this conversation was to deep dive into the motivations, dreams, purposes, challenges, goals, designed to be with you. You do a lot of this work. You're the advancing man. So like I understood, like I had to come at this with like, yo, I hope I'm asking deep enough questions. Like I need to get as deep as I can. But most people aren't necessarily doing this work like you yourself said. So it's designed to hopefully be a transformational experience, to gain a little bit of clarity on your direction and how you can serve the collective in the greatest capacity. So then afterward, I'm going to do a brand story analysis based on this conversation, create an overview of the brand story, including core values, purpose, mission, which we're pretty good with the mission, at least for the time being, and vision. So it'll give a tangible guide for expressing the brand across all the marketing channels, the ideal customer avatar, needs, desires, pain points, which I know you're on top of this as well. Personalized content creation strategy, including content prompts, hashtags, content posting schedule for when and where to post for maximum impact. And I also am going to create a few reels out of this conversation and just run them by you, post them or not.
Hell yeah, man.
But that's the what are your thoughts? Can I get your
I
thoughts?
love this product. I love this.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, this is probably something I can even have coaches go to and just be like, look, like if you don't have 550 bucks, you got bigger problems, and it's probably because you don't have this. Like, go and get this shit taken care of.
Mhm.
Because too many coaches just aren't clear on their shit. Like you're right. Like they come in and like even me, like I know what I'm doing, but what you're gonna be able to create by saying, hey, look, this is what I spoke with Gualter, and this is exactly what he says he's doing and what Alchemist Nation is. That makes it much more clear. That makes it much more usable. And to me, is like, a CEO of a multi-million-dollar company, this is a tremendous asset to be able to have this, because there's little things about the future that I have not really shared with too many people other than close friends that I said, look, this is really what I'm doing here. Going through these little stages because they're necessary. But I think being able to share the future of what I'm doing, like I think that helps people connect with what they're doing today. Even if some of the tasks are like unsavory, it's like, man, do I really want to run this next event? But it does lead to ultimately being able to invest together, to build a city together, and then potentially who knows what we're going to do as the moon comes to, which we're getting close. We're actually getting close to the moon is attainable. So in the next 20 years, I'm gonna be very impressed with what we're capable of doing. And I'll
Oh,
still
for
only be
sure.
57. Like I'll
Right?
be younger than Grant Cardone is right now.
Dude, that's insane. It's so crazy to think about.
It's 20 years away. Like Vinny is 70. He'll be 71 in August. So it's like I still got 40 years. Let's say we'll call it 30 years before I'm even close to Vinny's age. And he's still out there, buying and building real estate. So like I have a feeling like why not set these big ass goals? Because I'm not trying to rush them, right? I'm not trying to get it done tomorrow. Like so anyway, I like the way we've got the setup. It's very useful. The fact that this can be cut up and turned into reels, I think that's very useful. Um, having the pain points of the avatar, like basically everything that you're gonna pull out of this can be used to go and update any kind, like that funnel we were talking about. Like literally, my one desire is like a funnel where somebody can come in, understand what we're doing, and be like, "Yeah, I need to buy this. I need to be a part of this." Like
Mhm.
all of that, basically, is like copy that we can use for the website. So, um, yeah, this is very,
Correct. Yeah,
yeah, man.
well, I mean that's the goal, right? Because the goal is all the my favorite people that I have these conversations with and help set them up. We end up just growth partnering. You know what I'm saying? So then this conversation allows me a lot of clarity on how I'd be able to actually show up and help. But
Hell yeah, man. And
dope, I'm excited.
I'll
What's
give you
up?
one thing to think about.
Yeah.
And I take the gamble on you because I like you. Like genuinely, truly, that is the only reason. Because you messed up in the past with Mark. So like that to me makes me scared. But I know you, and I know you've always cared about this community, and you've always shown up for the community, and you've always done tremendous amounts of work. And with guidance, you do very well. And I think that was the challenge we had with Mark, is you didn't have enough guidance from him.
I didn't know
But
how to ask for the right guidance as well. If I'm taking full responsibility, it's like, sure. But I didn't, I could have asked better for guidance, asked more questions. I was, I guess, feeling necessary to take it all on my own and then just whatever. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I hear you.
personal development, right? So I think at some point, Ron and I are going to be looking for not at some point. I know we're looking for a manager to manage our workflows, our AI automations. A lot of the team we're hiring right now is going to be managing a lot of events, Eventbrites and meetups, and there's just a lot of marketing components and legs. It's what Darina has been doing, and Darina needs to focus on the summit. So bring somebody in who can manage all of those VAs, like has to be somebody who can have a conversation and correct somebody, coach somebody, basically. Where Darina and Amy both don't have that skill. Like they're like at the end of a team, after like the end of the summit, like I think I had to fire all my VAs because they were just like burned out with Amy and Darina. So I'd like to have my VAs a lot longer. I like to build longer lasting teams, and I've gotten really close to a lot of my VAs because I do a lot of one-on-ones with them just to make sure they're okay. And so it's tough for me to fire people because they're actually very good people. It's just the manager's not training them properly, which to me is very sad. But I can't get rid of Amy or Darina because I love them both. So with you, I think that you have the ability to coach and train and guide a team. You understand marketing at an intimate level because of the time you spent with one living here and also with Alex Hormozy's book, like you understand it. You understand it, like very intimate.
He just announced $100 million leads coming out next
Oh,
month.
threads. Yeah,
Ah,
I already applied for it. So I'll
yep,
be on the webinar.
love it.
Yep. So that is going to be the next thing to dive into. But as Ron and I identify what this role looks like, we're going to keep you in the loop. It's a lot of what Crystal used to do. It's a lot of what Crystal used to do, where she would like kind of just be like the community leader. But we may have you do a little bit more, because Crystal did not want to do video. Like she didn't really want to do videos on how this works or how that works. Whereas for you, I know you do. I know you're capable of it. I know you're upgrading your image. You're spending time really just thinking about how you come off, and so opportunity there. Just something to think about. And Ron and I will be looking at what that job actually looks like, because he's managing it right now, and Darina was previously managing, and that just doesn't work for either of them. Like Ron belongs automating things for me and figuring things out, and Darina belongs running these events. So it's going to take somebody who understands, loves, is passionate about marketing, and can like look at the numbers and be like, okay, did I get more people in? Did I get more people in? Like how many people show up to that event? Why did it work? What text did I put there? Why did that text not work, but that text did? So let me follow up with you on this, because
Yeah,
Ron and
for
I were
sure.
having this conversation today, and we're like, who would be good at that? And I was like, I'm the only one I could think of at the time. And then I'm talking to you, and then you're basically me. So
Yeah, well, what I had identified, the other thing I had shared with you the other day when you said, let me shut you off and talk about what I need most importantly, which was obviously good. I'm not saying that in any negative way, obviously, but it was the mind map I had made, because I was trying to think of how I can provide value. All the people that I was like looking for, of asking, all the people that I was asking, like, hey, how can I borrow money for a percentage or whatever, and that was the providing value that was in my head. But then I was like, okay, what's real value? What's real value? But anyway, I know you're defining what that job looks like. It seems pretty big to me, because I went and did some research on what a CMO, a chief marketing officer, like what their responsibilities would be. So
no kidding.
what
This
I
is
identified was
interesting.
market research, so market trends, competitor activities, this sort of thing, content creation and management across the various channels, brand management, strategy development, collaborating with the other departments like sales and product and customer service, obviously, digital marketing, so overcome the online presence, performance monitoring, so all the metrics, team management, leading the team of all the marketing professionals, the VAs, whatever, and public relations, managing the relationship with the public and media, might involve organizing public appearances or events, all that stuff. That is
Yep.
more or less a chief marketing officer,
Yep.
according to the internet.
That is basically what we're looking for.
I was
So
like, I could do that. That's
yeah,
cool. But yeah, okay, cool. I'm gonna sit with this. I'm gonna come back with some information as well, so we'll have a follow-up conversation.
I like it,
Uh,
brother.
Let me get back to Florida and back in my space next week, and we'll meet back up.
Sounds good,
But
man. Shoot me
also
a
next
text.
week I'm focusing fully as well in the mornings. The first half of the days. Well, I'm sorry, the first day in the 24 hours, all towards the Alchemist Nation team builder. The team. You mentioned Texas, so I've been deployed to Texas instead of Florida. So that was actually pretty cool. So I'm working San Antonio.
Very cool, man.
Um,
That'll give you a very intimate understanding of it. And yeah, Ron and I are pretty excited about it. I think that with this working the way it is, you're getting a deep understanding of what the sales team does and how that process works. Then shifting you into the marketing position, you'll know exactly who we're serving. We serve that sales team. It's how do we fill those events? How do we fill their like book calls for them? Like that's our priorities. That sales team is the most important group of people we have. And right now they're trying to find leads. They're building lists on their own. They're sending messages. Like the marketing team should be able to do that. Like the marketing team should be able to pull lists, skip trace lists, send text automatically, and book appointments automatically. Like all of that should be able to be done before. So the salesperson is just like answer phone, answer phone, answer phone, answer phone, answer phone, like that. Like look at their calendar, booked appointments. Like that's how it should just look like. 4 hours a day of booked appointments, and they're just close, close, close. Like that's how I envision being on the sales team. It's just like fucking greatest sales job of all time.
Right. Just free leads pouring in. Just literally go on appointments. Here's the script.
Just yeah, like bang, 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 bang. Master the script, help a bunch of people, lock it down,
It
get
seems to
creative,
be the way to do it if you want to get the people coming in to make the most money the quickest and also get the events built the quickest.
kill two birds with one stone. Get my
Good
people
point.
rich, and help everybody else. Yeah. So this week is really the opportunity for you to go and figure out what is missing on the marketing side, and then maybe the week after we transition you over to full-time marketing. And don't hold me to it. I'm going to hold
I'm
you
not
in the
holding you to
sales
anything.
position as long as it makes sense. But I think that ultimately that is our goal, is to be able to, when the sales team is killing it, we can afford a position of marketing. And for you to be the only person in marketing would be foolish. We need you to have a team under you. So Ron and I are looking at hiring a team right now. Monday, we're going to talk to a manager and see if they're the right person. If they are, we're going to put them in place, and then it'd be you contacting them or marketing manager contacting them. So about 2 weeks from now, it is very possible that is something that would work. Just impress me, and I have no reason not to.
Cool. Sounds good, man.
All right, brother. I'll see you
Do
in the next
everything
one.
I can. All right. Talk
I know
soon.
you will. Cheers.
Stop.